Let's finish our dynamic parenting system. So all we need to do now is go ahead and connect the weights of our constraints into our custom parameter. Let's go ahead and get this started. We'll press Alt-5 to access our wiring dialog. Let's go ahead and grab our eye control and load that on the left side. And we'll go ahead and find our custom parameter, follow head. So that's modified object, extra controls, custom attributes, and there it is. Now let's go ahead and search for our constraints. They're tied to our group, so we'll need to highlight that group and load that in on the right side. We'll expand it to get to transform, position, and here is the position constraint. We'll expand that to get to our two weights. Now tying in the first weight that's tied to our head control is actually very simple. It's a direct connection, so we'll go ahead and grab follow head. We'll grab our first weight, weight 0, and we'll go ahead and connect using that lower arrow. All right, let's go ahead and do the same thing for our orientation constraints first weight. We'll go ahead and expand our rotate list. There's the orient constraint. We'll go ahead and now tie its first weight into follow head. All right, so let's test this out. Right now, our value is at 0 on that custom attribute. So what that means is that the head will not control the eyes. If we were to grab that head control and start to rotate, you'll see that the eyes will stay put. All right, so now what we need to do is go ahead and set up the second weight so that when we're at 100%, the head will then start to control the eyes fully. You can see how there's a slight shift or a slight sliding effect that causes the eyes to not follow their helper fully. So we'll need to go ahead and tie that down. And here's how we'll do this. We'll need to work with simple math. Let's go ahead and grab the position constraint second weight. And we'll go ahead and head over to our expression here, follow head. So what we need to do is say that when this parameter, follow head, is at 100%, we basically want to make sure that this value is at 0. So how do we do that? What we need to do is add 1 minus before our expression. So what this says is that when this is at 100%, since we're subtracting 1, which also represents 100% here, we're now going to end up with a value of 0. And then once we're at 0, well then this value here will be set to 1, meaning that the eyes will be fully locked down by the helper that's tied to our global node. All right, great. So let's go ahead and copy this expression. We'll go ahead and do a tie-in, and now we'll choose connect. And let's do the same thing for the orientation constraint second weight. So we'll go ahead and take our expression here, paste, go ahead and do a tie-in and choose connect. All right, let's test this out. We'll go to our eye control. You'll see that right now it's set to 100%. So when we grab our head control, take a look how the eyes now follow. If we were to go ahead and grab that control and start to drop it, let's go ahead and set this to 0. You'll see now that the eyes will follow the world. Great. All right, so that's how we basically set up our dynamic parenting system. So once this is finished up, we can go ahead and take the head control. We can go ahead and Alt-right-click and use transform to 0 to bring it back. Great. Well, we're making great progress. We only have a few more things to rig. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to approach creating animator-friendly finger controls.